Hey, everybody. I'm back once again. Consistency. Today, I thought I would put a nice shirt on and a tie. You never know, right? Anyways, today's topic, growing your own vegetables. Now, I know a lot about this. I have a huge garden. It's actually too big. I'm actually going to make it smaller this year because it was just like there was so much. I couldn't sell it all and we could eat it all. And some stuff wasn't that popular. But first thing is, if you want to save money, it's the best thing to do. And there's nothing like the taste of a homegrown tomato, cucumber, zucchini, or anything else. I've been gardening since I was probably 20, in my 20s, early 20s. I kind of started messing around. Even when I had an apartment, I was growing. So I'm just going to look down at my notes. Yes, stay on topic. I see that one. So how to start if you don't have a big area? Well, there's a number of ways you can do this. It's kind of going to depend on, like, if you're self facing, it's going to depend on that. But worst case scenario, you can join a community grow. Like, if you don't have space at all, like say that you live in an apartment and the balconies in the shade and you can't grow anything. Well, you should research your local area, find out if they have community gardens where you pay a small fee. I remember there was a place in the city we were before we moved here in Vancouver. Now we're on the island, but in Vancouver, they had a community grow in Pitt Meadows, and I think it was like it was very affordable. I think it was like $30 or something to join for this season. It could have changed by now, but it's not very expensive. It's not very expensive, and then you get like a little plot. Like, you don't get like acres of land. Obviously, you get like a couple of garden boxes. Maybe 10 by whatever, 10 by 10 or 10 by 8, something like that. Even if you only had 10 by 6 feet or something, you can grow a lot of stuff. You don't need a big space. You don't need a 100 feet by 50 feet. You don't need big space. You can start small, but so if you can't grow on your own, look into that, because in your community they will have places where you can grow. And if they don't have that, ask your parents if you don't mind, like, putting a little bit of soil in their backyard or something. It's really as simple as this. Seriously, you could get an okay from a friend, an uncle, an aunt, of your parents. Say, listen, do you mind if I put like 10 bags of soil, dump it on the ground, build a box around it? If you don't know how to build a box, you could just dump it on the ground. Dump a whole bunch of soil, like decent soil, don't buy crap, and just plant stuff in it. I mean, I can make another video to like how to do the entire process. This video is just give you a baseline, just kind of open up the topic a bit and just kind of discuss what I've done. I'm going to be putting pictures throughout the video of my personal garden, and I'm going to tell you, my wife loves saving money. Ever since I started growing, we've been here for 4 years in March, so the first season we were here, I started growing. I had never had a property this big before. We've always had tiny apartments, tiny little townhouses. We had no yard of our own. Weren't allowed to, just grow anywhere. And then it was townhouses. And then we had a few houses that had no yards. So this is the first property we actually had room to grow. And then I did, like, in my 20s, like I said, and in my 30s, I always had pots on my balconies and all that kind of stuff, like littered everywhere. Like, there was almost no room. I was growing tomato plants and I was growing all kinds of flowers and stuff, but I never had full rain like we do now. So when we got here, I built a 70 feet by 20 feet garden. Huge, huge money too, to fill it with dirt. Like $1,500 worth of soil type of money. It was, yeah, I think it was 12. No, wait, delivery. It was between 12 and 1,500. I was trying to remember that, but I made some mistakes, which I can discuss today or maybe another video. Since I'm wearing a tie and a shirt, you can take me seriously because of this, right? Maybe you can. I felt like dressing up today. Leave me alone. So, yeah, how to start a garden if you don't have a big space, what to grow, what are the benefits, and what are the costs? Well, let's go with, I just covered, if you don't have space, I covered that. So, what to grow? Now, I've been through the gauntlet when it comes to growing things because you don't really know. I sell it on my farm stand, and I will put a picture of my farm stand in this video as well. And you can kind of see what I've done. But if you're not going to sell it, and it's just for yourself and your friends and your family, I would start with the most popular things that you eat. For me, what I eat, cucumbers, zucchinis, tomatoes, potatoes, some herbs, parsley, oregano, dill. Dill's a big one for us. We love dill. Put dill in all kinds of stuff, like salads. In the summer, right into about late October, we are eating salads all day long. Every day, Greek salad, regular salad, green, just tossed salad. Grow lettuce too, romaine lettuce or heads of lettuce. Cabbage is another good one. But for us, this year we're going to stick to cucumbers, zucchinis, tomatoes, potatoes, dill, oregano, parsley. Yeah. And we grow primarily cherry tomatoes because they seem to do better. Like the big ones kind of get all deformed and stuff, and people are very picky when you put them on the farm stand, to sell them. People don't like, they like them all perfect, right? So I grow some like medium-sized ones, but I don't really grow the big beefsteak tomatoes anymore. Maybe I'll have a few plants, but I think I had 90 plants last year, and probably 80 of them were cherry tomatoes, and some on the vine, tomato on the vine. They're about that big, but they're not. The bigger they get, they kind of, sometimes they rot, they fall off the thing too early, or they're just deformed, right? So, and the cherry tomatoes have a lot of flavor. They're small. The grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes are our best and our favorite, and they're super popular on the farm stand to sell. $3 well, people sell them for more. We always sell things for a little bit less, give people a little bit of a break, right? It's kind of a hobby for me, but it's turned into, like, we definitely, by selling them, it pays for the entire garden, but we're not getting rich selling the vegetables. Like, it's basically gas money, and it pays for the plants and the soil, but we're not, not rolling money selling vegetables. It's just pocket change, really. It's nothing crazy, but it does add up. For a whole season, you might do, maybe a couple of thousand if you add it all up for a season, which pays for the garden to make it. But last year I went too crazy. I grew way too much stuff, and I couldn't sell it, and we couldn't eat it. So back to the topic. So just kind of figure out what you like. We love potatoes too. So there's nothing like a homegrown potato. Yeah. Tomatoes, zucchini, cucumber, like all day long. I'm selling all that stuff all day long, and we're eating it constantly. Then I start freezing. I almost did not throw any tomatoes out because we figured out how to make soup with the tomatoes. I was making homemade pasta, which is a picture I'm going to put here of me cutting all the vegetables up. We had to buy very little vegetables for, 5 months of the year. Let's see. Yeah, about 5 months of the year, almost half. You'll get tomatoes until like first week in November usually. And I can go out there and pick the last bowl of them out, and it depends on your climate too, right? If it gets colder sooner, then they die off. But this year I've got greenhouses for my Christmas gift, 2 of them, 10 by 10. They're nothing crazy, but we wanted to see, right? So now I can start from seed. If you can learn how to start from seed, you can literally plant a garden for almost free, minus the soil. But like buying the actual plants, it's like $3 for 100 seeds, $3 for 20 seeds. It's like under $5. It's very inexpensive. So, but if you're thinking of saving money and eating healthy, I'm telling you, if I can grow a huge garden, you can grow a huge garden. No problem. And you'll never go back, because you'll be like, why was I buying all that stuff from the store? So now we have to go to the store and buy tomatoes, right? Like, to make sandwiches and the odd thing. And it's like painful, because we didn't have to buy it for like almost half a year. And I froze a lot, but you can't slice that, right? So, it's a bit, you can't do it that way. But we were actually freezing zucchini, chopping them up. So many zucchini. I think I had 25 zucchini plants. I was selling them like crazy. Like, I only sell them for a couple dollars each, right? They're $2 each. For any size, doesn't matter. But when they start coming in, like, June, July, August, they're coming in not crazy. I mean, sometimes I go out and pick up 50 of them, and then wait 2 days and it'd be another 50 of them. Like, it was crazy. But we were dicing them all up and then putting them in Ziploc bags, freezing them. And then we'd make a pasta, we'd make a stew, crock pot's another wicked one. We would dump them in. Then we'd dump a bag of frozen tomatoes in there too. And then take a masher and mash it all up, and it just turns into tomato sauce. We're making salsa, making chili with the tomatoes, with the zucchinis. Then with the potatoes, we were making curries and stews. Like, we're eating like kings and queens when the garden's happening. And it was busy too. A lot of people, if you have room, like if you have a house or something, have a little stand on the road. I don't mean, some people do steal. I'm not going to say they don't. It's pretty rare though. I mean, I have caught people stealing. They've stolen my garden ornaments I sell on the stand, and you can see when people don't pay. They do this little fake pay thing. Yeah, I have a honesty box out there. I've got cameras up the ass. Got cameras on every angle. So it's usually people from out of town. We have a huge farmers market here in the summer. It goes on from May till October, and every Sunday there's thousands of people, and it's on our street. That's why I started the stand, and I sell garden ornaments on there because people are passing. Like, it's like a highway, right? So we get a lot of customers, but like I said, you're not going to get rich off of it, but it's extra pocket money, right? So if you do have, I know a lot about that. I've been running a farm stand for 4 years now, and I just built a new one. It's much bigger, but anyway, back to the point. So yeah, growing your own garden, it's really not that difficult. I would stay away from buying super composted soils and stuff, because it just kills the plants. Just buy regular potting soil. If you need to buy a truckload of it in bulk, you can pay a few $100 or $100, depending on your space. But I bought composted, like, chicken poo and manure all mixed in. That's why it was like 1,200 or something like that. It was between 12 and 1,500, but that was for 70 feet by 20. Huge area. You'll see it in the pictures. Way too big. And there was a lot of dead areas, like it wasn't just a walkway. They were like way too big. You just need tiny little strips to walk in, right? But yeah, so I've learned too, but it's only going to get better. Like, if I had it my way, which I can't have it, my wife would let me dig up the backyard and make a massive garden, like to sell, like to the community, like on that level, I could do it easily. Growing things it's not hard. Maybe growing the harder plants, like is a bit more difficult. But when it comes to cucumbers, zucchinis, tomatoes, potatoes, herbs, radishes, carrots, we grew thousands of carrots. And we bagged them up. We cut them up, bagged them up, and froze them. Put them in all the stews, bags and bags, and we give it to the dogs too. We boil the carrots. Sorry, we boil the potatoes. We boil the zucchini. We mash it all up and we put it in their food. Dogs are having vegetables. I've been feeding the dogs for half a year too with the vegetables. There's a lot of people eating from the garden, and a lot of it I'm selling too. So it's good. So today's video is really, I really want people to start growing. You know what? Fuck all these grocery stores ripping us off and charging $4 a pound for tomatoes. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Cucumbers, zucchini, they're all super expensive. And you'll find that out when you start growing them. Because I was growing so many, I didn't know what to do with them. We have to stand up for ourselves and not just go to the store and just buy it because it's convenient. It's really easy to grow things. If you're doing it on a large scale, yeah. Next year I'm gonna have to get automatic watering and stuff because it was taking like an hour a day of me standing there watering. So I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I just put a podcast on. Maybe I'll put myself on and listen to myself. You know, you can listen to something and it's fine, but I was standing out there and it was 38 degrees out. So this year I'm going to build a cheap water system that you just put on the timer and it just have a hose go through the entire garden, looping around, and it just sprays. I'm going to do that. That's not expensive either. But the basics of growing the garden, it's very easy. Really, all it takes is soil, some seeds. If you don't want to go the seed route, buy a bunch of bags of soil from Home Depot or Rona or Walmart even. It's fine to grow stuff in. Buy the little plants that you can buy when spring starts. All the stores sell them. They're not that expensive, but I mean, I would stay away from buying too many of them because it does add up. But if you want to just get started, I mean, buy 3 pre-grown zucchini plants, buy 8 tomato plants or 4 tomato plants, and buy 4 cucumber plants. That's enough for a few people. I know, believe me, it won't seem like that, but once they start growing, they get huge. You can have a lot, like right there. That's enough for a family of 4, probably. You know, on a moderate level. You can't be eating all day long like we are. If you double that, you know, you start giving them away. But just get, honestly, a little 6x6 area, and you'd be shocked what you can grow. Start even smaller if you want, but you should do it, and you won't be buying you won't be buying vegetables anymore. No, and it's super therapeutic. It's good for your mental health because you don't want to throw it out because you knew you grew it. It kind of does something to your mind. You're like, oh my God, I grew this. I don't want to throw it out. So that's when I started freezing everything. I didn't really know, I didn't at the time didn't think about all the things we could use them for. I'm like, what are we going to do with all these frozen cherry tomatoes? We had like 15 bags of tomatoes we bought a deep freeze. We're almost down to the last few bags now. We used all of it. My wife just told me today, actually. I told her I'm going to do this video. She's like, can you promise me you're going to make more tomatoes next year or you're going to grow more? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll plant 120 plants this year. Right? So she's liking it too. She loves it. It's nothing like a green salad with all your own parsley, your own dill, and all of your own vegetables. Oh, it's like an intimate moment. So that is the topic of today. I went through all the subjects with you. Look at the pictures. Those are really that's my stuff. I'm not just, I got better things to do than make up garden stories. But I know a lot about growing. I really do. And there's a lot of people that come here and they go to my farm stand. And from the farm stand, they look over the gate and they can see the huge garden. They're like, can we come in and check it out? I'm like, yeah, come on in, right? And they ask me all kinds of questions. But I can make more videos, how to start, what to do about weeds, how much, how often to water, how do you fertilize them, all I know all that stuff. So anyway, let me know what you think of the video today. Let me know what you think of my tie and my shirt. I'm acting like people are watching this, but anyway, maybe somebody will one day. You never know. I'm being consistent. I'm listening to all the YouTube gurus, especially the guy that's got like 8 subscribers and he's telling how people how to make channels. Hey, all the power to him, right? But anyway, everybody have a great day. I will see you tomorrow because I'm making a video every day because that's the contract I signed with myself. I want to be able to do this, so I'm trying my best. Anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.